teased this.
I have a serious
Fridays
question, and you can answer this any way you want to answer it.
Hold on, and jumped the gun. And jumped the gun. All right. We teased this 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
Didn't have time. We teased this last Friday. Didn't have time. Jay, you're back. I know you want to talk about this.
I teased it.
I promised we would get it in today.
You
and
did.
My goodness gracious, we are going to get it in. Tim Anderson on the Foul Territory show talked about the Jose Ramirez knockout for the first time publicly since. This comes about 1 minute and 30 seconds. We'll play it in full and let's react to it. But this was Tim Anderson on Foul Territory talking with AJ Brzezinski. Let's play it in.
I have a serious question, and you can answer this any way you want to answer it. You and I are in a particular club together. Do you know what club that is?
No, what club is that?
We both got frickin' punched in the face on national TV. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? So we've both been through it. All right? And I've
sure.
always wanted – I've never heard you talk about it, and you don't have to talk about it. I've talked about when it happened with me openly, right? I've signed a million pictures of me getting punched, and people still bring it to me all the time, and I laugh about it, whatever. But did that have anything to do with anything that happened? Because – you can go one of two ways. It can take you down a bad psyche, or it can take you to a good psyche. Like me, I laughed about it and moved on. I don't know, because I've never really heard you talk about it. Like, did it affect you in any way?
It's not really. It's not really a whole. I wouldn't even say it's really a whole lot to talk about it. I mean, I wouldn't say I won't go as far as signing pictures.
I understand.
But I was going through shit before that moment. That was probably created. The energy and the vibes to be able to, tap into that energy. But man, moments happen. Moments happen, and that's something that we got to live with, and I understand that. But I'm always looking forward. I can't really change what happened. But I understood a lot of things in that moment throughout that situation, and I understand what love was. I understood, who really is your teammate, who really got your back, who really in your corner. So I could say I understand those in that moment for sure.
Is he on a roster?
No, and he's kind of fallen off a cliff since.
He signed a deal with the Angels.
Oh, he did? Okay,
Yeah.
because I saw the Angels logo in the background, and I wondered.
Just a couple weeks ago.
Probably a non-roster spring training invitee.
Yeah.
So the thing I took away from that, which I didn't know, because I specifically stayed away from that soundbite until we were going to do it on the show. I wanted to see it for the first time. I guess there were some things going on before that in his life. He said he had some shit going on before that. I don't know what it was.
I think he got caught.
But maybe that was it.
It was some things going on in his marriage. I think he got caught up with like another female or something.
Oh.
And he was going through some issues like divorces and stuff.
Okay. Well, that's possible.
And so, I'm saying at that point in time, I think he was publicly going through it. And that was wild.
Down goes Anderson.
And he kind of says, like, that kind of led me to a point where I could see why, you're about to get half your stuff. You don't know what your marriage is looking like. And plus, when you get caught doing that, it's like, what the internet is. The internet is brutal. It's brutal. Like, oh, you got caught up. Oh, you got red-handed caught. Oh, and you got knocked out. That, like,
It's a bad week.
That's a horrible year. You can't even hit the baseball after that. Look at that. That's crazy. 214.
He was a
good player.
He was an all-star.
But he'd been declining. I just looked it up. He'd been declining for years. His OPS the last 4 or 5 years, 886 is where it topped out when he was 27. From there, it went to 806, 734, 582 the year he got knocked out.
Okay, that's the big plummet.
463. Ooh. So that was even, he went from 734 to 582.
But still, how old is he?
31, 32, let me see. 31 or 32.
For a ball player, 30 should be the heart of your prime.
Yeah, he peaked at 27, had 2 terrific years back-to-back, finished in the top 10 in MVP one year, hit a career best 335.
That's the year that I thought, wow, this dude is really that guy.
He had 2 really good years. That was it. He had 2 really good years.
That fall was fast.
Yeah, and I really don't think the punch, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think the punch really had anything to do. I think he just was declining.
Oh no! I don't think the punch messed his skills up. I think once again we talk about the psyche,
Watson,
the mental psyche. Think about it,
of
like
the personal stuff.
Yeah, like as a black dude, like that's the worst thing you could ever do happen. Like because it rolls with you forever. Like you got knocked out. Like that's
Jose
part
Bautista.
of the thing.
When I mention his name to diehard baseball fans. Oh, Joey Bats. What do you remember about him? Man, he got decked by Ruggie Odor.
Odor.
Yep.
Like, that literally, and by the way, his the third base coach for the Guardians is his uncle. And I was talking to him at spring training, and I'm like, man, where did he learn to handle his hands like that? He's like, hey, Rookie's dad, his brother, was a boxing champion.
Yeah.
And he said, I remember coming up, we always were in the front yard with gloves on. Wow. And so that dude, I mean, that was not an accident.
Do you remember the clip of Kipnis?
Yes.
That was hysterical.
Yes,
a couple weeks after Odor knocked him out,
Yes.
Kip forced him at second and was like giving him the.
Yeah, like, come on, you want to go?
It was funny.
It was great.
Hey, man, but I always give people credit.
But you do carry that.
You carry it, but listen, the dude that the scariest dude in the world is the dude that got knocked out and continues to fight because he don't care. He
true.
You can knock him out. He's gonna catch you one day.
Yeah.
Like
Robin
I
Ventura,
respect that
when Robin
guy.
got separated from Nolan, I think he was like, I had my medicine. I didn't like it, and I don't want any more. But you're right. The guy that gets knocked off of his feet and then gets up and starts jogging again.
And you know that's the best you had? You ain't got nothing left in the tank? I got nothing left.
Actually, you can tell that it's still screwing with him because, like you said, I ain't signing no pictures.
That's exactly right.
Because, like, AJ Brzezinski can have fun with it. Ty Lue used
Who
to
hit
joke.
AJ? It was a Cub.
I don't remember.
I think it was an interleague game, and I thought it was a Cub. And that's my memory.
But
I could be wrong, but I think it was.
It was the Cubs.
Okay.
Michael Barrett.
Okay, yeah, that's it. It was Barrett.
So, but like
Got
AJ
the
can,
right at home plate.
AJ can joke about it and he can sign pictures. You can tell it doesn't bother
He's
him
that
anymore.
kind of guy too.
But Ty Lue is the same way. People would bring T-shirts to Ty of Allen Iverson stepping over him in the finals, and Ty would like kind of laugh and sign it like whatever. So he's not really bothered by it.
Right.
But for Tim Anderson to say I ain't signing no pictures tells you it's still lingering with him.
Yeah, you're right.
He's still sensitive about. I've been like, listen.
Well, all these years later, there was a great documentary. I've talked about it on the show before. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Nolan Ryan. The producer of the show was Reed Ryan, Nolan's son. And he approached Robin Ventura about an interview. He wouldn't talk. He wouldn't talk.
Yeah.
Now, that was 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we've never heard you talk about it.
And
Nolan was like farm boy strong. I don't think it's a real, like, after he had thrown and amassed 5,000 career strikeouts at the age of like 46 for good measure, he went out and struck out 15 Blue Jays and pitched a no-hitter. Like, this guy wasn't human. It's okay that you got cattle wrestled and punched in the face 8 times by this guy. Roll with it. Yeah. And he wouldn't do an interview for a Nolan Ryan documentary these years later.
Do you think it's because it overshadowed? Like, Robin Ventura he's a good player.
Yes.
Robin Ventura was in that era where it was like,
what is he remembered for?
3 strikes.
Yeah, that's it.
He's remembered for 1, 2, 3.
And then the uppercut. And then 3 was he was trying to disengage, and he came up underneath him.
But you know what? Like, when you mention Robin Ventura,
that's wild.
Joey Batista, and Batista had some years.
Yeah.
But when you mention Tim Anderson, he was a great young player. But when you mention him, one of the first things out of diehard baseball fans' mouths is, "Oh man, he caught one from Jose and went down, one punch."
I mean, he had the limp wrist. When your wrist go limp and you have no shoulder muscles.
Yeah, I call it.
anymore.
You got your fuse taken out. It's like you're like those dolls that you push the button on the bottom and the whole thing just goes. That's what happened. Someone took his fuse and pulled it out the back of him.
Watching it live, I didn't even think he really caught him.
I didn't either. I thought it was like a glancing blow.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's the most dangerous. That's the most.
Like, watch this. It doesn't even look like he catches.
He gets off some hands here. Watch, Tim does.
He got good.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
How did that one? How was that?
I don't know. He caught him flush in the cheek. But what was funny was Anderson. He dropped a 3-piece on him before that.
It was.
He went left, right, left. Watch this. He gets a real nice combo of left, right, left in.
But that wild haymaker.
Here comes.
One night only. One night only.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Bam.
3-1.
Down goes Anderson. You know what makes it better? Hamilton's call.
Oh, yeah.
Hamilton's call makes it.
You can't even watch that without hearing
They're
Hamilton's
fighting.
call.
They're fighting.
That punch.
Down goes Anderson.
That punch was outside the framework of his body. That punch was out here.
Yeah, it was a haymaker.
If you get caught,
but he got him in the cheek. He got him.
He got him.
But at first, you're right. At first, I'm like, that was like a glancing blow that
Yeah.
like the glove would have slid off the
Yeah,
face.
yeah. I was like, he didn't knock him out.
But when you slow it down frame by frame, you can see he got him. You know what? Everybody has a button. And, most guys, it's their jaw. And you never know. I don't know if you guys have ever been in fights, but you never know, do I have one of those or not?
Your chin,
Until you get hit the first time and you're like, woo! But you're still standing up. You're like, okay.
Your chin does not lift weights.
No, it doesn't.
Your chin don't
doesn't
care nothing about how big your tattoos, your body piercings. Anybody
Talk to
get
guys
knocked
that
out.
are long time like lifers in a boxing gym. I love when they tell stories because they say, oh, in this game you got to recruit. So I would go into the streets and I would find a 6'2", 195 long, rangy guy, and I'm like, that's my ticket. And I'd bring him in the gym and I'd teach him bag and speed work and I'd get footwork. And then I'd say, okay, you're ready to go in and spar. And he said, this guy told me the story. It was a New York gym.
Yeah.
He said, I had this guy. I swore to God he was going to be a heavyweight champion of the world. I brought him in. I did all the work, 3 months. I said, okay, he's ready to get in the ring and spar. I brought in a tomato can to spar with him because I wanted to build his confidence. He said, this guy got hit one time in the jaw, and I've never seen a human being fall so fast. He's like, and that's what you don't know until you know it.
Yeah.
And Tim Anderson's got that glass jaw.